Wednesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. We're going to do something kind of fun and crazy this afternoon. Hope you find it inspiring. And yeah, if you're here, say hello. I'd love to hear from you guys. Today we're only going to be showing the table. So we're going to skip my face today because we're going to be in a hurry. We want to get the show on the road and get started, so I'm going to just show you what I got going on. So I won't say it was a disaster last week because everything is a learning process, but I was not feeling like I had put my best foot forward last week when I was doing the unboxing, and I wanted to go for a round two, and I spent some time arranging my components and seeing what I could come up with. So I put together, I think I have 11 pieces here. I'm going to try to get through as many as I can during this episode. So if you're watching and you're new here, hello, I'm Heather Powers from Humblebeads, and I'm a bead maker, jewelry designer, author, illustrator, and your all-around creative muse. And it's my job every week to get your beads off the table and onto some jewelry. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to say hello to my friends that are joining me. We have Jonellen, Candy, Donna, Debbie, Chris. Hello. I like that you call everyone here humblers. That's so sweet, Chris. I love that. Oh, love, love, love. So I'm going to start with the low-hanging fruit and get things done, like, you know, get things punched out as quickly as I can. Hi, Mom, watching. I can't wait until you can be sitting in this room with me so soon, so soon. Okay, so I'm actually going to start. I have a super simple pair of earrings. Remember these little Rivolis? And I we're struggling with the filigree to make it into a little enclosure. So I closed 3 and left 1 open, and so we're going to use those as the drops. And then I have the filigree that came in the box. Oh, and I also, for the unboxing, I try to stick with mostly what's in the box only. And so this week I've grabbed some Humblebeads and things from my shop and had a little more freedom to expand what I was using for the Vintaj creations. And all of these are from the Vintaj, well, not all of them. Most of the components are from the Vintaj VIP subscription box from last week that I shared with you guys. And I'll let you know when things aren't in the box. So if you see something, I'll let you know if it's not in the box. If I don't say if it's in the box or not, you can know it's in the box, and I will let you know when things aren't in the box. That was clear as mud, right? Okay, so I'm going to start with these little guys. I have my little Humblebeads that are from my website, and the findings on the top here are also from my stash. And these are little wobbles. If you ordered last week from us, these were the free gifts, and I had a bunch of different colors and included those in your orders. So here's a little idea of what to do with them real quick. Okay, so if you guys are creating along with me, you can kind of watch out of one eye and work along with me in what I'm making. I think I'm not even going to add a little extra bead. Well, maybe I will. I can't spend too much time thinking when I want to get through all of these projects. So yeah, just a tiny touch of a spacer. That looks good. Now I'm going to grab my looper here. And let's see, I want my bottom one to be going front to back and my top one going left to right. So I'm going to make sure I have that placed in here. Then you just give it a squeeze. And we got our little loop. And sometimes you have to fix those little loops up just a tiny bit. So I'm going to do that real quick. Okay, not the best loop I've ever made. Okay, that's better. Okay, now to repeat on the other side. So how are you guys doing today? Have you gotten to play with your subscription box? Have you pulled out your beads to play along today? Let me know. What's the scoop? Are you making jewelry while you watch? Are you just relaxing with a cup of coffee and watching? How's it going today? Let me know. I love hearing from you in the comments and chatting with you that way. Okay, the bottom ones I'm going to attach with these little 5mm jump rings. So attaching to the bottom of that and the bottom of our filigree piece. Close that up. And you guys know I like to work in assembly line fashion, so I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the other one. And these are a really fancy little pair of earrings. Even though they're a simple design, the crystal definitely elevates them. I'd still wear them around my house doing nothing. Per usual. Okay, and I'm going to open up the loop on the bottom here and slip on my charm, filigree charm. Close it up. And I'm going to repeat on this other side. And then I'm going to throw my ear wires on, and we have our first pair of earrings done. Just took us a few minutes to make a pair of earrings. You could do these in lots of different colors. Make sure I got these on the correct way so they'll dangle, you know, with the sparkle out. That would be important. Oh, that's cute, right, guys? So simple and easy. I love it. Yay, Candy, I'm so glad you like watching. Chris, I'm glad you are able to join us. Jess, I see you're here. I really made a mess last week with the Vintaj unboxing. I definitely showed everyone what not to do with the components in the box from last week. And so guys, I ended up taking that whole necklace apart. It was just not vibing for me, or as my painting professor used to say when I was in art school, it was not gelling. I never understood what he meant, but he would always say it's not gelling. It was very unconstructive feedback, but you just knew it wasn't working. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Love it. And these components are in your subscription box, so you guys can just throw little humble bead wobbles on there, your ear wires, and you're good to go. Now I'm going to go with the next simplest pair of earrings, because we're doing that low-hanging fruit. That's important today. Okay, so we're going to go with this guy right here. Make sure we're right there. Actually, I think the next easiest one is going to be the one up here in the corner. This one right here. So let me go ahead and cut these wobbles open. So I'm going to use these little speckly green ones. And what I decided to do with the color palette, because I'm not all pink, ruby, whatever color we want to call those. And so I went with like this desert flower kind of theme. So adding like the bluish green of cactus or succulents along with the peach and the pink, and really being inspired by this color combination right here along with the ruby pink. So that was what the direction I was going in. These components I actually used Christy Friesen's Swelligant, and I used bronze on the bottom and then did some tealish green color on the top. I'm sorry, I can't remember what it was. Oh, and I used the teal green patina before I put on the color oxide. So if you missed Christy Friesen's Great Bead Extravaganza presentation, you can go back to the Great Bead Extravaganza group, and she did a whole tutorial on how to use Swelligant. So the other thing that I really like about the Swelligant is it adds this really lovely matte texture. So yeah, that was like perfect, just what I needed for this. And these little earrings are going to whip together very quickly. I'm going to put a little tiny flower, and I have some little, I pulled out some little spacers depending on what I wanted to use. So I'm going to see how this little flower looks. Let's see, maybe I'll do it on the bottom. Oh yeah, I kind of like that. So have that little bead cap, just a little tiny bit of gold on the bottom. And now I'm going to use a O-bead spacer. I have my disc bead, and this one has all different color flowers and just a really pretty combination that matches perfectly with our elements. And I'm going to grab another O-bead. I'm going to stick on that little one, and I think I'm going to call that done. I like the way that looks. I'll try one more just to be sure. I have the little crystal bead that was in the thing. No, I think that's just one too many, so I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to do my loop at the top here. And because I'm working with big beads, I'm just going to do the loop myself, because it doesn't always work out with the looper tool when you have a big bead on the bottom. So I want this one to be left to right. Well, I just want these to be going in the opposite direction. So no matter which way it goes, we're going to have the bottom ones front to back and the top one left to right. All right, there we go. And I'm going to repeat that. And you guys, grabbing a tray like this, or if you've done my muffin challenge, you can do this in a muffin tin. I've pulled out all the components for each of the projects and threw them together so that I don't have to go searching for things very far. I might like have to grab a jump ring or a chain here and there, but pretty much everything is right here at my fingertips ready to go. And that's how I'm going to be able to crank out as many pieces as I can during this next hour, because I've gotten everything prepped and ready. And so you guys can do this if you're going on vacation, or you just want to have like a little project box to have in your living room in the evenings while everyone's watching TV. However it's going to work for you. I really like this tray or muffin tin method of collecting things for projects. Okay, and I'm gonna slip this on. Oh, and just so you guys know, I did seal the Swelligant with Christy Friesen's matte Swelligant sealer. So these have been sealed to give them a little bit more protection. So I feel like that's important too. And just opening the jump ring on the bottom and slipping on these really beautiful cool charms. And these charms were in the Vintaj box, and everything else was from my stash. So these were the components that came in the box. I forgot the last O bead. Oh, I did. Oh well, I'll fix that up later. Thank you so much, Lorraine, for being my eagle eyes today. So I'm just going to set the other one aside, and I'll have to redo that. But here's the design. Ooh, helps if you can see the whole thing. Ooh, I really like these guys. These guys. I really like these. You guys. And you can, the bead is different on the front and back, so you can kind of twist it to which direction you like. I kind of like it with the lemon yellow poking out that matches the gold on the bottom. So that's earring number 2. And now I'm going to go on to number 3 here, which are these little loops. And I need to pull out some copper jump rings. I think I'm going to grab a pair of oval copper jump rings that I have. And so the rings and the charms came from the Vintaj box, and then these little crystals also. And I love mixing metals. Be brave, you can mix them any way you want. Yay, Melissa, you made it to a live. I'm so excited for you. Feel free to comment, guys. I love to read your comments. I look up every few minutes and try to catch your comments. And if you had a question, I will go back through and answer any questions that you have after the video if I didn't quite catch it during the live. And these little polka dotted cuties came in the box. Make sure I can show those. So they're very textured. I'm a little afraid oh no, perfect. I was a little afraid the hole was going to be small, but it's just right. And I'm going to slip this over the rings. The rings also came in the Vintaj box, and these are copper plated pewter pieces. Just had to open up my jump ring just a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to close this up. All right. And now I'm going to do the bead on the top. And I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. I think I'm going to do wire wrapping. And I think I will do wire wrapping with some... Oop, let me grab the right one. And it's rubbed off so you can't even see. This is 20 gauge parawire from Vintaj, so I know the color is going to match perfectly with what I want to do here. And so I'm going to cut off about 7 or so inches, and I'm going to start with a loop on the bottom, and I'm going to make this loop pretty large because I want it to hold the ring, but also the little dangle that I'm going to have at the bottom here. And I'm going to bend this so that the loop is, you know, straight up from my wire, so it's not bent over to the side weird. I'm going to throw this on. I'm going to close up my loop and wire wrap. And I'm going to wrap 2 times. I'm going to pinch this to get that wrap condensed just a little bit more so you guys can see. I've just pinched this down to make that wrap just a little bit tighter. And I'm going to wrap one more time. And I don't think I'm going to do a messy wrap on the bottom. I'm going to... Do I want to do messy? Maybe I will. It'll add a little bit more bulk on the bottom. And that's... will be more pleasing to my eye, especially with the thicker disc bead that we're going to use. So I'm going to close that up, and I'm going to stick on, this is a little crystal from the box, and I'm going to throw on one of those gold O beads, my disc bead, and this little disc bead, let me show you up close. Oh, can't even see it. It's a little Queen Anne's lace cane that I made in my favorite flower of the summer. Oh, you know what? I did that backwards. I'm going to have to change my charm around to the other side because it's going in the wrong direction, which is fine. Everything's fine. I'll just fix it up afterwards. and I'll do the second bead right. Okay, so I have that little bead cap and then my flower, and this is also by using the same components throughout the collection here, everything kind of mixes and matches so people can, so it'll feel like a cohesive collection. Like if you were to do a show and you use components that were similar and had like a whole little collection here, by using components repeating in different pieces, they kind of all tie together. So something to think about. And if you have my book Beautiful Elements, I go into that theory quite extensively. The whole book is about that, repeating elements. Okay, this just bothers me too much. I have to fix it right this very second. So I'm going to flip this around. That's the hard part of trying to work fast. Tend to make all sorts of little mistakes. Yeah, and so definitely there's like a front and back to your wire work where you ended your cuts of your wire, and so you want to have that in the back. All right, now I'm going to throw on my ear wire and playing back and forth with copper and brass components. That's important to me. And I'm going to grab 2 copper jump rings for the little flower that's going to go on the inside. And all within arm's reach, I have all sorts of findings. So even though I didn't have them pulled out, they're all right here. And I think for this guy, I'm going to do just a simple loop so that I don't have to try to wire wrap inside that ring. Let's keep things easy for me today. Right? Okay. Cheryl, it's definitely a fun tray. Cheryl says, I want to dive into that tray and never leave. I agree. It is. It's a fun place to play for the next half hour. Oh, it's already been 20 minutes. Ugh, I'm not going to get very much done going at this rate. Okay. I just love making jewelry, guys. It's like the best puzzle game ever. Ooh, here, let me take that little comment off so you can see the whole piece here. It's so sweet and cute. I might actually switch this around a little and put this guy up here, but I'll play with that later. Or maybe I'll do it for the second one and see which one we like better. What's it wasting? Nothing. So yeah, I'll try the other one and then we can decide which one we like better. How's that sound, guys? So I'm going to start with the loop in the middle, and I'm making a nice big loop for this. I'm going to straighten out the end here. I'm going to open up my loop and slip on my ring. And I really like these rings. They have like a hammered texture around the outside. And these are from the Vintaj subscription box. And they're lightweight because they're pewter and plated. So they don't have a heaviness to them. They feel lighter so that they're a little easier to wear on the ears. That's one of the nice things about lightweight components is you can have a bigger piece, but it still isn't uncomfortable. Okay, I'm going to throw on my pink bead. I'm going to follow the same pattern this time. And I have my spacers. I'm going to throw that spacer on, my little disc bead. Oh yes, great question, Carmen. Carmen asks, can we purchase this box? And yes, Carmen, you can purchase the July box through the end of July, so you have a few days left to snag it, and then in August they will send you a brand new box. In the Vintaj box, it's $39.95, and it has $150 worth of goodies in it. And this one, I was able to mix and match with components of my own and come up with 11 designs. So it's really a great deal and so inspiring. And now this one I have mixed in a little bit more of my regular components from my website and things that we offer at humblebeads.com, more than I would normally for like the regular unboxing that I did last Friday. So just be aware of that this one has a little bit of extra goodies from my own stash that I'm sharing with the creative process here. Okay, now I'm going to throw on my little bead. Then I'm going to use my one-step looper for this one. All right, and now I'm going to grab that other jump ring and I'm going to slip this little guy through there, and then also, do I want to put that? I think I'm going to put that guy on there. I'm going to close this up and I'm going to have to use a little tiny jump ring to attach it to the inside so that all our components are going the correct way. And I'm going to pull out one of those little 5mm jump rings that are my favorites. Just little workhorses. I love a little tiny jump ring to attach things without adding a lot of visual weight to it. Make sure this guy is cooperating. There we go. All right. I'm gonna slip this on, close up that jump ring, and now I'm going to, oh yeah, I like that. I like that, the way that's working a little bit better. And then do I need that bottom one at all? What do you guys think? What do you like? Oh, helps if I show if I'm on the screen. Okay, this without the flower, should I add the little flower? Like, maybe I could add the flower on the bottom there. I'm feeling like maybe it doesn't need the flower. Like sometimes less is more. Or do you like the long dangly one? I'll set that aside. You guys let me know. And then I'll fix up the loser. No, the least favorite one. I'm feeling like I like this design better. Okay, next. Now this next one we're going to do a tiny bit of metal work. And it's with these big suns, and these are, I don't usually wear earrings this big, but I kind of like this. And so this one, I decided to do something a little bit different. You like them both. We have 2 votes for the smaller one. Someone put the flower, add the flower. I'll play around with it, guys. Okay, so what I've done is I've just taken my bench block and hammer and did some little texturing and flattened this out. Just feel like it gives it kind of a little bit more modern look to it. So that's what we're going to do really quick with this other one so that you guys can see how I did that, in case you're wondering, although you probably already know. So we got steel bench block. The rubber piece on the bottom helps dampen the sound. And I'm going to take this. This is my ball peen hammer. You may have a bigger one. That's fine. Either one will work. And I'm just going to start hammering away. Excuse my noise. And I'm working from the center and going outward. Just hammered on the top there. Now, as I'm hammering more on the outside, I am hitting a little bit of this textured area, and that's fine. And so it's starting to cave in the other way, so I'm just going to hit it a few times on the back. Not quite the same, but close enough. I think I may have flattened this one first before I did the hammering. I'm pretty sure that's what I did. So it's a little bit different, but that's okay. Good enough. Close enough. This one has a little bit more texture to it. There we go, kind of hammering out that big dent that I did. Don't know how I did that, but they're good enough. I like them. They're going to be on 2 different ears, so nobody's going to know. Okay, so let's put that aside. And I'm just going to do these with the eye pins. I'm going to keep things really simple today. My jump rings have fallen off over here. So I have that little tiny bead that was in the piece. So these copper suns and these little tiny beads on the bottom were in the box, and then the rest of the components are from my my stash. And I have these new dahlia beads on the website, guys, that are in this really beautiful rainbowy AB finish. So they're clear on the back, and then this pinkish color on the front, and I really love it. Okay, I'm just going to trim this, and I want these ones to be going left to right, making sure I'm actually in the camera for you guys. You should see how contorted I am. Okay. I think half the video is just me trying to find where I put my pliers down. Okay, so I'm going to throw this on the bottom here. And I'm pretty sure that these are solid copper stampings. So you could patina them, I'm pretty sure. Alright, I'm going to throw my ear wire on the top here. And I'm using a copper ear wire to pull in the color from the sun. And there's my piece. And I love it. I would totally wear these, even though they're way bigger than what I normally wear. That's okay. Gotta be brave sometimes, right? Okay, my little tiny bead has floated away. Where did you go? There it is. These are like 3mm fire polish beads, very tiny, nice and petite and delicate. And just the cutest little bit of sparkle to your design. Okay. Almost have earring number 3 done. Oh, Jess, thank you so much for answering the questions about the box. That really helps. If you guys have any other questions about the Vintaj box or Vintaj in general, Jess is here to help out. So thank you, Jess, for joining us for the video. And I didn't mention it, but the Vintaj subscription box is gifted to me every month. So Vintaj is the sponsor of this video. So we want to thank them for partnering with Humblebeads. We do make the perfect pair. Okay. That guy wasn't quite front to back. Had to twist him around a little. Shh, don't tell anyone. Okay. Alright, earring number 3 is done. We've done 3 pairs of earrings in 30 minutes. That's, oh no, 4 pairs of earrings in 30 minutes. We are moving right along. Okay, so let's move on to, I have another pair of earrings, but I'll do those real quick. They'll be super easy. Alright, I'm going to work in assembly line fashion with these ones, and we're going to start with little flowers, fuchsia flowers from Humblebeads, our check glass, and then the middle components are from the Vintaj subscription box. This really cool charm connector that has 3 holes at the bottom and 1 at the top. Perfect for earrings, and we're going to combine it with these little brass pieces that were in the box. And these brass pieces, I did the hammering trick. I turned them over and hammered them on the back with my ball peen hammer to make them so that they're dapped outward. Just give them a little bit more of that sun kind of feel, give them some dimension. So I'm going to throw all of these little beads on the head pins first, because that's my little tip. Do everything in assembly line fashion to get things done quicker. And we're going to grab the one-step looper. And the one-step looper you can find on vintaj.com. Just, do you want to link the one-step looper? It really is just a fantastic tool. You just press once and that gives you a loop. And sometimes you have to fix your loop up a little bit, but that's okay. So I'm just going to make the loops first and then fix them up second. And I want to be careful that I don't crunch my glass bead in there. I feel like I need to make my loop just a little bit bigger so that it doesn't. There we go. And the one-step looper definitely saves your hand. If you have trouble with your hands at all, or if, you know, getting a certain age where the less you do with your hands, the better. This definitely saves a little bit of muscle strain in your hands because you're just doing the one loop. Okay, now I do need to go and fix these guys up because I was a little afraid of squishing the beads, so I didn't do it quite as tight. So I'm just going to fix those up real quick. And then I'm going to attach them to the bottom of my piece here. And I do find you do have to fix up the loops on the smaller wire a little bit more than the loops on the like thicker 18 gauge wire, just FYI. In case you're wondering if something's wrong with you, no, you just need to do a little finessing to get them going the right way. Okay, now I'm going to attach, I think I'm going to do this first, where I'm going to attach the bead and the loop first. Decide how I want to do this. Do I want to do it with just thinking for 1 second. I might pull out some more of those oval jump rings. I kind of like that. All right, now so Susan asks, Jess, are you going to be adding any more of the new colorful soul wood designs anytime soon? And I do love what you do with them, Susan. And Jess said, yes, the best is yet coming very soon. So they have new pieces coming up. We love to hear that. I love the vintage soul wooden pieces. Oh, Jess, I was wondering, these pieces, can you tell us about those? Are those designed by Ashley? I was kind of thinking maybe they were designed by Ashley. And are those vintage, are those box exclusives? We want the scoop on that. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. All right, I'm going to grab eye pins. For my top ones. Oh, actually, you know what? Instead of eye pins, I am going to do a little wire wrap because I want a little bit more heft above and below those pieces. So I'm going to cut two 6-inch lengths of the 20 gauge wire. That makes my regular size loops on the bottom here. And I'm going to do that for both of these. You want the little birdie chilling in the corner? She is pretty cool. I will have some of those on Friday. They're in a new purpley color that I did. So I just took my red ones and painted them the purple color on top. And so I will be adding those to my website on Friday. I do have those little birds in other colors too on the website right now. Okay. So for this one, I'm not adding any other beads, just the ones that are on here. I mean, just the disc bead. And I'm doing both the loops side to side. And I'm going to wrap it around tightly 2 times and then twice on top of them. Gives it that messy wrap look and gives it just a little bit extra bulk. And repeating with this one. Wrap 2 times and then 2 times on top. And pinching this in. Okay. Okay, yes, I thought it just looked so much like her signature style. So these pieces are designed by Ashley Booney of Summer Wind Art, and these are only available in the Vintage box. They are designer exclusive. So that's another really great thing about the Vintage subscription box is they also often have pieces that are exclusive to the box, whether they're a designer piece like this or from maybe the Vintage archive or their collection. There's just all sorts of cool stuff every month that you're not going to find easily anywhere else, and sometimes nowhere else. Like these hearts. And just my box came with 2 hearts. Did everyone's box come with 2 hearts, or did I just get a bonus heart? Melissa, you can paint on clay with acrylic paint. You can use the colorful soul paints from Vintaj. There's a myriad of things you can use to paint on polymer clay paint, but any acrylic craft paint works on polymer clay once it's baked. So, good question. And if you guys are curious, I teach all sorts of polymer clay classes on my website if you want to learn more about bead making. Okay, so I'm going to close this one up too, and then I'm going to use a little jump ring on the back to attach the tiny sun in between. Just want to make sure I close these up nice and tight. Oh, okay, I did get a bonus. Okay, well, I will only design with one of them, and the other one I'll just keep as a little treasure. I thought maybe it was a bonus one because the picture from this month only showed one, so I appreciate the extra one. I do love Ashley's work and have quite a bit of it in my collection. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that the seam of this jump ring is going in the back, and I'm going to attach this little 5mm guy. Oop, that doesn't quite work, does it? I'm gonna have to do 2. Will that get me down too far? Thinking things through. Yeah, it'll be fine. I'll have to do 2 though. So we got that front, you have to make sure all your jump rings are going in the right direction. So I will add a second jump ring to attach these 2 together. And be working from the back. Okay, closing this guy up and praying that it worked. Yeah, I'm gonna slip it through to the front though. Yes, I like that. He's gonna just be flying in and out of there. That's okay. And now I'm going to attach the beaded flowers, these little dangles to the bottom. Looks like I cracked my bead here. Well, since I'm making these for me, that's okay. Since these little flowers are more delicate, I should have probably not used the one-step looper and just did them on my own. So the one-step looper works really great for a lot of applications. Working with really delicate beads would make me a little nervous, and then also if you're working with bigger, chunkier beads, it's a little harder to get a good size loop or get the loop close enough to the piece. So that's the only times I wouldn't use the one-hole looper. Other than that, anytime you need a quick and fast little loop, it is a lifesaver. Okay. And I'm going to attach my ear wire. And then repeat everything on the other side really quick. And I need to step up my game. This one, it does make like an eye shape, doesn't it? Anne from Guardian says this looks like an eye. I'm going to do this, maybe I'll go over an hour. I want to do 2 of these pendants real quick before I say goodbye. So I'm going to work a little quicker here. Okay, I'm going to attach these to the back of the piece. Close that up. I may have to come back and close my jump rings up a little bit better, because now I'm like, hurry! Although, where are you guys going? There's no rush. If you have to leave, you have to leave. If you want to keep watching till the end, you can keep watching until the end. I am for sure going to do these last 2 necklaces, though, before I let you go. Well, before I go. You guys can leave whenever you want. I'm not holding you captive. Oops. You guys, you're liking the vibe of this one, Melissa. Me too. The dangles are super fun. Are these on the website, Jess? These connectors? Or is this a box exclusive? I hope I've inspired you guys to pull out your box again, and if you haven't already used up all your components, and play a little bit more with it, try a few more things that you might not have thought of. Definitely my favorite things to have on hand when I'm playing with my Vintaj box is my my metal punch, so that you can punch a second hole in any piece of Vintaj metal. And then the other thing that I love to have on hand to help transform metal or components is my ball peen hammer and my bench block. So having those 2 things opens up a world of possibilities with your Vintaj subscription box. And you can get all of that on the Vintaj website under the tool category. Okay, now I'm going to, I think I'm going to do this little Thunderbird piece next. Mostly because I want to wear it. So this guy, we have all sorts of little desert themed components here. And I'm going to start by, I'm going to poke, probably 3 holes on the bottom here, in between the 2, in between each of the little bird feathers. So this is my 1.5 millimeter punch. And I want to make sure I'm not too close to the edge, like at least 1/8 of an inch away from the edge. And this is pewter, so even though this is a thick piece, it's very soft. And I'm punching between the feathers here. Didn't quite measure that right, but that's okay. So I have my 3 holes on the bottom. This one's a little off center, but we're going to pretend it's not. How's that sound? Sounds good to you, sounds good to me. And I am going to use more of these little oval jump rings. And everything except for this, all of these goodies came from the subscription box. And then I have my little small drop in this mossy finish, and I'm going to add that with a little flower, and it's going to look like a little cactus on the bottom there. And let's see, I'm going to grab a silver jump ring to do that component. So I have my flower, my bead cap, and my little mossy bead. And so this looks like a little cactus with a flower blooming at the bottom. And I am going to grab my one-step looper. Well, actually, you know what? I think I want to do a little bit bigger of a loop because I'm going to attach this directly to the necklace. So I'm going to do my chain nose pliers and do a slightly larger loop for this guy. I mean the pendant. Attach it directly to the pendant. I don't know what I just said. Does that happen to anyone else? Okay. Close that up. And I have some burrs here on the back. So I'm just really quickly going to take my file and file those off so that it doesn't cause any problems later. Okay, that feels better. And this is just a flat file, just a little inexpensive file. Okay, now next I'm going to attach my cactus. And I'm using one of those oval jump rings. Candy, I will post pictures of all of these pieces so that you guys can see them up close, and feel free to copy any of them. As always, you guys, I am here to inspire, and you guys are welcome to use any of these designs for your own jewelry making. Okay, and I'm going to use the same kind of jump ring to attach the little flower. But before I attach that flower, let's see. Oh, you know what? I have two pieces here. So I'm going to, how do I want to do this? I'm going to attach the flower first, and then the little journey. Is that going to work? No, it covers it up too much. They need to be on separate pieces. So I'm going to close this up on the top here, or the back actually. Okay, now to attach this little teardrop that was in the box, I'm going to grab a little skinny jump ring that I have that I know will work, so that I won't have to do any extra wire wrapping or anything with this guy. So this is a really thin jump ring. I may want to use a slightly smaller one. Oh, I guess that is the... Excuse me. me as I dig through my beads. Yeah, okay. This will be the one to use. You could also wire wrap that little guy, but I'm just going to go the easy route. So these thinner jump rings, they're good for attaching little dangles. Like, I wouldn't use it as a construction piece on the jewelry. You know what I mean? Like, they're a little too flimsy. It's kind of bent out of shape. I may wire wrap that later. We'll see. We shall see. But now I'm going to attach this little guy with a jump ring. And let's see. It's probably going to have to be 2 jump rings. Maybe. Yep. No, I don't have enough room to do an extra hole in there. If I had spaced them out differently, I could have, but I wasn't thinking. Okay, guys, so are you enjoying this process? Is this something that you're enjoying? Watching me just randomly make things like this? I think I will put this guy behind and hide his double jump ring secret. Yeah, I definitely feel like I want to do a little bit more of a refined piece on the bottom there. And I do like him. The journey's kind of a secret little message tucked away in there. And I'm definitely going to have to do something with this. I can't even stand to look at it. It's not gelling for me, you guys. Okay. I wonder... It has a big hole, so maybe I can attach it just with a small jump ring. It's not like a... Okay. So, just some questions. Ooh, that's the wrong piece. Diana, this is the Vintaj one. It's the 1.5 millimeter, and it works like a charm. And you just use it like a hole punch, except you punch metal. So, couldn't ask for something better. All right. Yeah, this smaller jump ring, because the hole is not small, I think we're going to be able to get away with this smaller size jump ring. It's a nice, this is an acrylic piece, so the hole is quite large and will fit in with this tiny little jump ring, and my life is complete and I've achieved pure happiness. All right. There we go. I love this guy. Okay. So we have the 2 pieces here, but all right. I wasn't thinking it had 2 pieces. For some reason, I thought it was going to have a hole in the head. So I think what I'm going to do is create some little tiny chain pieces to attach, and I'm going to start with the oval jump ring. for the center. And then I'm going to attach two of the smaller jump rings. And attach them to the large jump ring that I have here. All right. Ooh, we've hit the 1 hour mark. Are you guys hanging in? Are you abandoning me? Going off the cliff like lemmings? Do you actually have things to do today and can't spend your whole day watching videos? I know over an hour is a long video, but I would really like to make this next piece for you. At least the bottom part, and then I can finish the top later. Alright, now I'm going to attach another small jump ring. I just love this about creativity, is like, you know, instead of stressing about this, it's like a fun challenge. Like I said, like solving that puzzle piece where we had to get this connected to the jump ring because that's what I wanted to do. And so using these fun different size and shapes and textures of jump rings to make a cool chain. It's just a great way to stretch your creativity. So when you're making stuff, don't get frustrated. Just think, how can I solve this problem? And that's the key to creativity right there. There's always mistakes and different ways of doing things, but you just keep going and you solve the problem. And that is the joy of a creative life. When everything comes together and the sum of the parts become greater than the whole becomes greater than the sum of the parts. That's what I want to say. You take these little beads and before you know it, you have a whole little story going on. And that's just some fantastic magic. Okay. And this is a really large, thick, heavy-duty jump ring from Vintaj. And I just love the texture of it. Oh, isn't that fun, you guys? I love it. Very cool. Happiness. Okay. My jump ring isn't quite closed enough. There we go. Now, I am going to use some of the twisted wire to attach the humble bead on there. I want this to be more substantial, so I'm using the 18 gauge twisted wire, which you guys know how much I love that. Melissa, you watch and work, so it works out for you to do the longer videos. You know, that's what I do too. I love to watch Miss Candy Cooper, and so I'll just have it on while I'm making beads and listen to her. And it's just like, it's like having a little friend in your studio. Now, I could just open and close the jump ring, but I'm just going to slide this on. And I'm going to wrap this around twice. Really close to the bottom. I'm actually going to push it down just a little tiny bit. And now I'm going to wrap 2 times on top of it. And so I'm wrapping from the top going down. Oh, helps if you guys can see. from the top, from this area back up to the top of the link loop. That's what I'm trying to say. Going back to the loop, friends. Okay, closing this. Alright, gonna pull out these more heavy-duty parallel pliers. Work really well for these projects where you need a little bit more strength, and these are parallel pliers from the Bead shop. I know they sold out. I'm not sure if they have them back in stock yet, but you can join the waiting list to get notified when they do get back in stock. Okay, and now I'm going to fold this over. I'm actually going to pull out my big fat Sharpie marker, and I'm going to use this to make a loop. So I'm going to have the look of the jump ring, but with the textured wire on the top here. And I'm going to do the same wrapping, where I'm wrapping nice and tight twice, and then going back up towards the loop with the other wires. Trying to stay in the camera. Not always easy. Okay, and I think I will just grab my hammer here. I'm just going to hammer this just a tiny bit, just to give it a little strength. Oops, helps if I flap that around. So I'm thinking I would just attach this with leather on the top is what I'm going to do. And I will do that later and show a picture. So here's this guy all out in his full glory. There we go. Now you guys can see it. I really like this one, you guys. That'll be fun to wear. And I have some, let's see, I have some, I think I'll go with this earthy rust kind of color and do that. But I think I'll do this off video because you guys have seen me attach these lots of times. I'm going to do the little cat's paw piece to that and get that worked on. Okay, now my last one that I'm going to do is this guy here, because I know y'all have been staring at it wondering, what are you going to do, Heather? So let's get this guy going. Alright, I still have a few. Remember last week I tried to paint it with paint markers? Didn't work, so I cleaned it up, and so that guy I'm just going to use as the gold. This piece, this little cool textured moon, was really smooth, and I took my hammer, my ball peen hammer, and hammered it a little bit flat, and then turned it to the rounded side of the ball peen hammer and did a little light texturing over it, and then I used the Swelligant from Christy Friesen on here. Okay, now I'm going to just use the little tiny jump rings to attach these two guys. I'm gonna attach these two together so that they'll play together like that. And this little collection down here came in the box, and then this is the things that I'm adding to it. So just wanted to let you guys know. In this piece, I don't think I'm going to add it, but there is a little hole on the bottom there, so you could add something dangling on the inside if you wanted to. So that's a fun little bonus of that piece. Okay. Yep, I like those two together. It doesn't quite have the same eye effect, but that's all right because it's just supposed to be a moon, not necessarily an eye. Maybe let's try this as an alternative. Let's do each one on its own and see if it lays a little bit differently. I'm glad you guys are still watching. This will be the last piece that I finish today. And then we'll all get back to our business. We have orders over here to get out to you guys. So appreciate all your support during the Great Bead Extravaganza. It means the world to us. We are in the middle of, well, actually it looks like they're almost finished. We had a new roof put on our house and on our garage, which is going to become the studio. So the extra sales have really helped this week as we pay for all of these fun upgrades. All right, so maybe I will. You know what? I think I am going to put that guy in the middle. I'm going to use the secret ring. Oh, Stephanie asks, what filigree piece did I use to wrap around the big crystal? If I don't answer you now, Stephanie, I'm going to forget. It is this huge flower filigree. Jess, can you link that so that people can see? I know you'll know which one I'm talking about. It's the big one that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 petals as the flower, and it's just this big huge flower, and I put it in the center and wrapped all of the petals around the piece there. So great question. And I will go through my other 2 designs real quick just so you guys can see what I had planned, even though I didn't quite get there yet. Okay, so sticking the little teardrop inside the teardrop. It's an inception of teardrops. Make sure I have a hold of these little tiny ends of this jump ring. It's a little tricky doing it inside the, well, I guess this isn't really a teardrop. This is like a marquee shape, right? Get your geometry right, Heather. Okay. All right. This little tiny jump ring inside the hole is a little tricky. But I will not be beaten or back down. That jump ring looks a little funky. I'll just toss it to the back. All right, now jump ring on the little flower. Oh my gosh, guys, it is so much fun to make a big pile of jewelry. I love this. This is just giving me so much joy today. I have been a little stressed lately, and so just to sit down and make something beautiful for an hour and 20 minutes has just been really, really enjoyable. Okay, so Jess has said it's the passion flower, and yes, I'm pretty sure that's what it was, Jess. Oh, I didn't leave that up for very long. And so, I didn't show anyone how I made that, Jess. I just did that the other day while I was, playing around with my materials and deciding what to do. Okay, so I'm going to throw on the flower, that little guy, and this. I may have to put the little drop somewhere else. Just depends. Okay, I'm going to close these up. I feel like I don't have that quite closed tight enough. Okay. Now it's closed, but I left a mark on the jump ring. Oh well. Alright, now I think I'm going to do the same thing with the twisted wire on this little guy. So I have the 18 gauge twisted wire. I'm going to make the loop. I'm actually going to open the loop and slip on my jump ring here because I don't want to open and close that jump ring again. It scares me. No. Okay. I'm going to wrap around 2 times tightly and then 2 times on top of those first 2 wraps. Trim in the back and pinch in that little end. Now I'm going to throw on my bird, and I will have these. I have them in red, teal, gold, and white on the website right now, and then I'll have this orchid purple color on Friday. Okay. I'm going to do just a regular little wrapped loop here on top of the bird. Gonna go around 2, maybe 3 times tightly until I reach the bird. Oh, it just took 2 times. Okay. And now I'm going to wrap on top of it. Okay. And I'm going to cut that off. And close it up. Maybe. Okay, and I need this guy to be going front to back. So instead of fighting, I'm going to pull out these big parallel pliers. And guys, I can't recommend these enough for fighting with that. Lynn, that is a great question. Why are jump rings called jump rings? I feel like someone needs to make a YouTube video about that. Pretty sure I'm going to take this little guy and put him up here in front of the flower, but we'll leave him there for now. Now I want to take a larger jump ring. Let me find a big jump ring. Excuse my reach. Okay, got my big 17 millimeter favorite. Okay. Now I'm I'm going to do knotting. I'm going to do this really quickly. Just one side, just so you guys can see what I'm going to do. This is 4-ply wax linen, and I have like a 60-inch length piece here. And I'm going to do a lark's head knot to start. Just like that. And these are new that we have on the website, and these are the button flowers, and this is the metallic mix. I thought this looked really pretty with my color combinations here. So you can see it's a button. So we're going to take one strand of this, string on our button, make sure my cord is nice and tight. And so I have my little button flower there, and then you can see on the back the cord is behind it, so only one of the strands is going through the bead. And I'm just going to do a tight knot with both the strands together. Okay, now I'm going to separate the strands again. Add on another button. Ooh, okay, so I don't want to have them in this thick line, so I think I'm going to have to do a double knot in between each one. All right. Okay, so that fills in some of that space right there. And now I'm going to stick on the next one. Okay, so I have the do I want to do another knot? Yeah, I think I'm going to do one more knot. You could even do not a spacer bead in between these two, so that you could fill in that space a little bit with like a large hole spacer bead, like a metal one. Okay. Yeah, that looks better. It's a little messy on the back. I may have to play with this a little bit to refine it. What I might do is do a round bead, like a 4mm bead in between each one. That might work a little better. So that's the gist of it, though. That's what I'm going to do. And that's the end of our video, guys. That's all I'm going to show you today. Just real quick, I have this little guy. So we have this component. I hammered it, and I'm going to attach the little flower in there, probably underneath the this piece right here. And then I thought I would wire wrap these little tiny crystals from the box on to each of the little empty areas between the leaves, and that's going to go underneath my little bird. And then the other necklace, oh, we had this pendant, and this one I was just going to do real simple with the big guy and one of my disc beads, this, and then on chain, really super simple and easy. And then this last one, maybe it's a good thing I'm not doing it on camera, because I'm probably going to have to play with it quite a bit to figure out how I want it to go. But my idea we'll see how it goes, is I'm going to take the same magenta 4-ply wax linen, and I'm going to punch a hole in the bottom of these leaves, and these are the artisan leaves that were part of the Vintaj collection designed by me that are now available only on Humblebeads. And so I was going to do a knot and attach it with the thread going in the back and then coming back up, and then we were going to do these 2 little disc beads, probably with some metal in between, and then the dahlias, and then I thought I would end it with some green cactusy looking drukes in the back. And so I will do this one off camera and let you guys know how it goes. But you know what a what a trouble it was before designing with this piece. So hopefully part 2 I can get it much better. Yes, guys, so the Vintaj box is available through the end of July, so you have a few more days. And like I said, as you watch the video, you can see which components were part of the Vintaj box. Like in the Vintaj box, this is the only component and all the rest were from my stash. So this is definitely a mix of things from my stash and the Vintaj subscription box. And so that's what you would do with your stash too, right guys? So I will take photos of all of these and post them on my Humblebeads page so that you can you know, get some ideas, be inspired. And that's it for today, you guys. Coffee break is Friday at 3 p.m. I will have some new things for you guys then. And of course you guys can find, there's no kits right now, but the beads that I shared that weren't Vintaj, you can find at humblebeads.com. And that's it, you guys. Have a great week. Thanks for hanging out with me for an hour and a half. This was definitely an epic video. I hope you learned lots from it. And I want to thank you so much for watching to the end. I really appreciate you guys and look forward to seeing you on Friday.